Trust me when I say this, after 9 years of struggling with acne, you do not need harsh medications like Accutane, birth control, antibiotics, or even a multi-step skincare routine to heal your skin. What you do need is the right guidance and a deeper look that is beneath the surface of your skin. In this video, I am going to show you what I would do differently if we were to rewind the time and it was day one of me dealing with acne. I'm also going to show you how you can start to uncover the root causes of your acne. And then lastly, I am just going to give you the tea. I'm going to tell you exactly what worked for me and how I was able to heal nearly a whole decade of breakouts. All of this is truly because I do believe that healing is possible even after years, because I am the proof that it can actually happen. So my acne story begins in my mid to late 20s. And essentially what was like the huge key indicator besides the pimples that I knew it was just like a problem that I really wanted to get rid of was I noticed my negative self-talk. I noticed how I would avoid cameras. I was avoiding my reflection. The way that I would talk to myself was just very negative. And it was really to the point where I just didn't really recognize myself anymore. And also at the time, I realized it brought about a lot of like depression and anxiety. So really, I was just like at a point where I wanted the acne to go away because I knew that it was contributing to my like low self-esteem at that time in my life. So one of the telltale signs for me personally was I noticed how I would have liquid confidence whenever I would drink alcohol. And so it was just difficult for me to not be sober and to take photos. And so like I knew that was a problem. So forward to me going to a dermatologist, and honestly like that was such a uncomfortable appointment because she literally just like came in and she had like this huge magnifying glass and just like put it on my face and was just like basically kind of just like told me about my pimples on my face and like what types they were. And then after that, she was just like, here, take this prescription. And she gave me a prescription for antibiotics. She didn't ask me about my diet. She didn't want to run any labs. Like, we didn't talk about my gut health. We didn't talk about hormones, nothing. It was just like, here's this prescription for antibiotics. This is going to heal it. Long story short, I took it and basically I got sick from the antibiotics because I was out in the sun for too long. Anywho, I stopped taking the antibiotics, and this honestly became a turning point for me because I realized that like there is something deeper here and it's not just a surface thing. And also I should tell you that during this time I was trying different skincare regimens, products, you name it, I tried it. Also during this time I was trying different diets. So I was vegetarian, then I went vegan, then I went raw vegan. Then I was doing like juice fasting. I was doing like parasite cleanses. Like I was just basically doing anything and everything, trying to figure out like how can I make my skin clear. You know, at this time too, I was dealing with like random rashes. What else was I dealing with? Like bloating. I had painful periods. I had constipation. My moods were just like all over the place. I was very irritable. I was very angry. I had anxiety. Like when I tell you my health was just like all over the place, it truly was all over the place. So if we were to fast forward to a little bit more recently, and during this time, I was actually in naturopathic medical school. And during this time, I was still stressed out. And I found myself having breakouts due to stress, but then also breakouts due to what I was eating because I was stressed. So really, it was just like a lot going on. However, though, all of the information that I was learning in naturopathic medical school, it was super, super insightful. Eventually, I just stopped guessing and I was very adamant to get very clear on what it is that I needed to do. And so then I began tracking my acne triggers. I then started to apply what I was actually learning in naturopathic medical school. And then I finally just took a whole body approach to healing. And what I realized is number one, my gut health was completely trashed because of all of the years of taking antibiotics. As a little girl, I was diagnosed with asthma. And so, like, I have been taking breathing treatments and using albuterol and just using a steroid inhaler for years as well. The other thing is that my liver was overburdened, and again, it was overburdened for the years of medications that I was taking from all of the binge drinking that I was doing in college, and at the time I was still drinking. And then lastly, I noticed that it was also my emotional health that was fragile. The years of low self-esteem that I had just from, trauma in the past, trauma from childhood, and that was showing up as stress and inflammation and honestly pimples at the same time. Once I started focusing on healing my gut, supporting my liver, and tending to my emotional and spiritual well-being, that is when my skin actually started to change. The inflammation calmed, the breakouts started to fade, and for the first time in years, I actually started to feel like myself again. If this was day one of me dealing with acne, this is what I would have done. I would have started with the root causes. I would have not looked at prescriptions. I would have not been guessing. I would have found somebody that I could partner with who can help me to look at the root causes of my acne instead. Look at my health history, something to point to the reason of why the acne is occurring. Focusing on the root causes of my acne was literally everything for me, and it's actually where I start now whenever I'm working with any clients, because I realized that all of that time that I spent struggling with acne, really what I needed to do is I just needed to understand the root causes. And so that is exactly why I created this free guide to help you fast track what took me years to learn and finally start uncovering your own root causes. This guide is called the No-Pill Acne Solution, Healing Your Acne Naturally. Inside, I walk you through the 5 essential foundations that helped me finally clear my skin naturally without birth control, harsh medications, or constant guessing. For each foundation, which is gut health, detoxification, hormones, emotional well-being, and skincare, you'll learn the subtle signs that something may be off so you can begin connecting the dots for yourself. And most importantly, you'll discover how to begin supporting your gut, hormones, liver, skin health, and emotional health this week, so you can start rebuilding what's been missing from the inside out. Just click the link below in the description if you are interested, or you can comment skin and I will send it to you directly. Alrighty, so I want to help you, and I want you to leave this video feeling seen and have a great little gem that you can take that can help you uncover, the root causes of your acne. So this is an exercise that I personally did myself, and it's also an exercise that I do with my clients and I'm helping clear their skin. And so what the exercise is I would like for you to write down your top 3 acne triggers. In order to do this, I would like for you to ask yourself, what foods tend to flare up your skin? What part of your cycle are breakouts the worst? And then what stressors seem to make things worse? Identifying your acne triggers is one of the most effective ways in order to get to the root of your acne. And I believe that it's way better than any Google search, any TikTok tip, any Instagram tip that you may find online. Going back to why your body is reacting the way that it is the best way, and that is the most clear way to begin healing your acne. Just as I promised, I will give you what actually worked for me, what took so many years to heal my acne. And so I do want to preface before I start talking about it is that what worked for me, it may not necessarily work for you, but it may point you in the right direction. And so the first thing that I did was I partnered with a naturopathic doctor. He was amazing, and he really was able to create this treatment plan that was very individualistic for me and my issues. He also ran functional lab tests, and that was amazing because it gave me the answers I needed especially when it came to gut health, like that really helped me a lot. And then the other thing that I changed completely was the way that I was eating. I know in the beginning I talked a little bit about how I went from like vegan or vegetarian, vegan to raw vegan. Well, during that time, that actually kind of helped me because then I began my, I guess you can say, my journey through my diet, I guess my changes in diet, um, it was easier for me to eat nutrient dense foods because I was already used to eating a lot of like veggies all the time. But I will make it clear I do eat meat now. Again, what works for me may not work for you, but I just couldn't do the vegan for too long, honestly. It started to mess with my teeth, to be 100% honest. And so that is why I decided to turn to a nutrient dense nutrition, and it has honestly been amazing. Then next is I started to move my body regularly and gently. So basically, I come from a long history of, I was a track runner in high school. In college, I got into cycling, and then I also started doing triathlons, and then I started doing marathons. And so really I was doing a lot of like intense endurance exercising. And so when it comes to cortisol, I realized that I needed to like slow down on like the intense workouts and just find something that is like still, I can still do my intense workouts whenever I want to, but just like not all the time, you know? And so that was also a change that I needed, and it helped a lot. I started to go to the sauna more at the medical school that I went to, the naturopathic medical school that I went to. We actually had a sauna, and that was something that we could put on our treatment plan for our patients during clinicals. And so like during that time, I would go to the sauna regularly. And at the time at my gym, I would go to the sauna as well. And that just helped with detoxification. I also was making sure that I was using targeted herbs, going back to my naturopathic doctor, and also high quality supplements I was taking. And then I also started to get into coffee enemas. I won't talk too deeply about coffee enemas, but I will say that they are amazing. And I know people are like, oh my gosh, that's too woo woo. You're crazy, girl. But I'm telling you, they worked really effectively. I still do them to this day because I really do like them. One day I will make a video about them, but I also understand not everybody wants to do that. But for me, it worked really great for detoxing my body. Also, I want to add, going back to nutrition, I also, for like, I want to say it probably was a good 3 years. No, it was like 2 to 3 years. I was gluten free and I was dairy free. And I know for some people that's like super extreme, and they're like, what's the acne plan where I can still eat gluten, where I can still eat dairy? I just want to say it's very specific for me because my gut was just so damaged, and it truly was a leaky gut. I had to stop with the gluten, and there's so much research that shows how like gluten makes, leaky gut worse, right? And so because of it, I had to stop. Then also with the dairy, there is a huge link with dairy consumption and acne. And so like for me, I had to stop both of them. Now, today, I do eat gluten here and there. I'm not as strict as I used to be. So I do want to say that there's hope. Like depending on your body and whatever, you may not have to take out the gluten, you may not have to take out dairy, but for me I definitely had to. And with the dairy, I still eat cheese, however I make sure that it's lactose free, or I just do dairy free, because again, if we go back when I did my whole vegetarian, vegan, raw vegan, that really just like gave me enough time to see life without dairy, and I don't find it to be like that devastating. But that's just my story. So I just want to make that clear. Then I will say that the other portion of my healing, it just wasn't physical. It was also a very spiritual thing for me. And so one of the main things I did was I got into a church. Like I needed a church community. And in that church community, I sought out healing and deliverance. It was a lot of just like therapy as well, or pastoral counseling, however you want to say it. But I had to seek that. It was a lot of like healing mommy issues, or yeah, mommy issues, daddy issues, um, boyfriend trauma, relationship trauma, friendship trauma. It was a lot of healing all of that. And then the number one thing, it was building my relationship with God. And so during this time, I prioritized like prayer, journaling. I really had to lean into what does it mean to be a child of God? These are all things that I had to heal in order to heal my low self-esteem, because I didn't realize that I was dealing with, the trials of feeling rejected and feeling abandoned by, parents or friends, or, just different things like that. You really never know how that starts to form your personality, and you start to, be a different person who God didn't create you to be. And so it was just a beautiful time, and that also really helped me so much, especially realizing who I was as a child of God and who I belong to, meaning like my father was God. So a lot of that really helped me. It still helps me to this day. And so that is truly all of the things that I did that really helped heal my acne. And I truly believe that I am a better person. I was almost going to say a different person, but I am a different person, but I just believe that I'm a better person throughout this whole entire journey. So yes, it took me 9 years, but I will tell you that it was a beautiful journey of just me learning who I am, learning how I want to live life, learning what is best for me and my body. And yes, this was a super long journey, but honestly, it was so worth it because two amazing things came from them. The first one is I was able to create the understanding behind the 5 essential foundations to clear skin. Then number two, I am able to build this wonderful community of women who are healing from acne as well, using the 5 foundations that I had to go through to figure out like what is going on? How do we get to the root? So I do want to say that healing is absolutely possible. Even if nothing has worked before, even if you almost gave up, I do want to tell you that when you stop guessing and you start truly listening to your body, and when you are led by the truth, not trends, not social media, that is when the healing actually begins. Let me help you like I helped myself. And I want to invite you into my 5-month coaching program called the Clear Skin Blueprint. It's just not about clearer skin. It's actually about transforming your health from the inside out. And so inside of this program, it is deeply personalized and it's backed by science. And so within the program, I have functional lab testing that is actually included. And then it is all designed to help you uncover the root causes of your acne. And so if you're tired of guessing, if you're tired of the trial and error, and you are looking for support, you're looking for clarity, and you are wanting to be guided by someone who has experienced it and who has the knowledge, then I would be honored to walk this journey with you. The application is below in the description if you are interested. So, one thing that I have noticed from working with multiple clients, which ends up prolonging their healing journey, is that they're spending too much time Googling their symptoms and guessing on how to treat them. And so in this next video, I'm going to provide you clarity. I'm going to help you map out how to get to the clear root understanding of where the acne is coming from. And so watch this next video if you would love to understand what is going on with your body.